Multiple studies have concluded that up to 90% of all customer decisions are driven by emotion more so than by logic, which makes understanding the emotions of your customer perhaps one of the most important things that there is in business. We study this constantly in our work, and there are 6 particular emotions that you must understand in order to drive effective business results. 3 of these emotions are positive emotions. Emotions that when you can cultivate them in your customers, you are much more likely to create a sale, get referrals, and create positive word of mouth. When you create one of those 3 emotions, you get positive results. And when you can create all 3 of these most important positive emotions, this is when you get a loyal customer for life. As long as you also avoid the top 3 most negative emotions. I'm talking about one of the emotions on this video, and I'm going to offer you a free report that we've created that talks about all 6 of these critical emotions and gives you some techniques in order to determine how you can most effectively cultivate the emotions that you want and avoid the emotions that you don't want. So on your screen, there's a URL. If you go to that URL, you can download, absolutely free, download our special report. But I'm going to just briefly talk about one example, and that example is confusion. One of the emotions which you want to avoid in your customer is confusion. When customers are confused, they typically back away from whatever experience they're having. Meaning if they're on your website or they're in your email or they're looking at your ad and they start to feel confused, they bail, they get out of there. So what is confusion anyway? Confusion is simply when the customer does something and the response they get back is not what they expect, and they blame themselves. They think perhaps they're not smart enough to understand. And you might think to yourself, well, better they blame themselves than blame me, right? No, because when a customer blames themselves, that's something that they can't change. They feel, well, this brand, this experience is just not right for me. I have to go find something else that's right for me. And they leave and they go away, and very often they never come back. And there are so many opportunities to confuse customers, whether it's through the content that we include on our websites, the descriptions of our products, the way we ask them to fill out forms, the way we provide information, the navigation of our websites or apps. It goes on and on and on. So we are constantly spending time combing through digital experiences, looking for all those points of confusion, conducting customer research to try to find those places and root them out. Because every time you make a change to an experience, you create the opportunity to unintentionally plant a confusion bomb. But I want to encourage you to download our special report, which goes into much more detail and talks about all 6, the 3 positive emotions and the 3 negative emotions that you want to avoid. But let me ask you, what emotions are you generating with your experiences when you see your customers coming back to you with feedback? What kind of emotional tone are you hearing? What are the emotions that are most prevalent in your customers, and what impact have you seen as a result of that? Let me know that in the comments, and download our special report on the 6 emotions you must focus on for success in business.